Part 27. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 261. 261 Chapter Skynet. Chapter 261 Skynet. It's too damn, we should go to the US to appeal and sue them for our ban and discredit. In the Red Letter Company, employees of the US Market Business Unit were dissatisfied. It's useless, people will not care about you, directly dismissed. What should we do? Do we really have to give up the US market? Then is our project department going to cancel? The employees are very worried. Maybe, hey, it's hard to get into the project department. When they talked about it, the sect master came in and said, don't think about it, do your own work, and the specific situation, etc. That is to say, the sect master is also very confused. I don't know what decisions the seniors will make. At this moment, Lu Zixin has just returned to Pengcheng. He was not surprised by the decision of the US Federal Communications Commission, but he still could not find a suitable solution. Do you really want to launch 3 communication satellites to achieve global communication services, as Bruce Wayne said? However, the strength of Red Letter, and now cannot afford such a project. And now the communications satellites at Earth science and technology level can only provide small channel communication services. 99% relies on a large number of ground-based stations for the communication and network services of a wide range of users. The so-called communication satellite of Bruce Wayne, if it can serve hundreds of millions of users, its value is estimated to be more than 100 times that of current communication satellites. He hasn't returned to the company yet, but he has found a park where he walks aimlessly and thinks about problems. Now he has a choice, that is, the same as Hua, sold through the US e-commerce platform, such as Amazon, eBay, and the like. With the strong performance of Red Letter products, we should be able to achieve better sales than by Hua. But this is too difficult. This is to grab business from 10% of the market. In this 10% market, users who have the ability to purchase Red Letter smart products should at least lose half of it. Less than half of the total, minus the inability to use the services of the 3 major operators without buying, etc., there are very few remaining users. This is not much different from exiting the US market, and it is better than nothing. As for the admittance, Lu Zixin never thought about it. He asked about satellites in the 10,000 Realms Science and Technology Chat Group. Bruce Wayne said, with such a communication network satellite, you are now preparing for the project, perfecting various technologies, causing, launching, and then official use. It is estimated that at least 3 years or more. Of course, I am talking about all the smooth conditions, without any technical obstacles and accidents. Technical barriers are a big problem for your company in the actual manufacturing process. There will be some accidents. There have been more incidents of satellite failures. After all, this is not a mature technology. Moreover, rocket launches often fail. If such a satellite fails to launch once, it will cause the Red Letter to be seriously injured. Red Queen suggested, you can simply set up a ground communication base station. This is simple, you can do it with just money. Lu Zixin also thought about this aspect. Building a communication base station by himself is equivalent to opening a telecommunications company in the United States. However, in this way, the relevant US departments still have jurisdiction over his telecommunications company. If he makes some restrictions, he must not lose his life. Also made a foundation for the United States in vain. At this time, Tony Stark said, in addition to large communication satellites, you can also use a small satellite to deploy the satellite network system. Lu Zixin quickly asked, small satellite, how do you say this? Tony Stark, Wayne said the global network and communications satellites, cost and technology costs are obviously not what you can't do now. You can use a sufficient number of small satellites to increase the signal and range of radiation to achieve the same effect. Bruce Wayne said, This is indeed a solution, but small satellites have poor results and short service life if used in communication networks. Operating costs are higher than profits and are not suitable for implementation. Tony Stark, it makes sense, it's really troublesome, it's better to sell a few missiles, the satellite money will be earned. Luzixon is speechless, large satellites can't be made, and small satellites are too cost-effective, which is a dead end. Mr. L. Red Queen, emoticon, touch the head, the group owner does not cry. Luzixon asked, is there a small satellite, I want to know. Red Queen, emoticon, raise your hand, I have, the owner, I will give you the optimization analysis. Mr. L, emoticon, good, will have a thank you. Red Queen, hot fist emoticon, it turned out to be a good brother, under the red proud. Luzixon chatted with her for a while, waiting quietly for Red Queen's information. Taking advantage of this empty space, he looked at other information in the group. The group is active again and has the right to issue a random red envelope. In addition, the option to randomly invite group members is also cooled down. He has been thinking about corporate strategy for the past few days and has ignored this. Luzixon quickly clicked on the option to start inviting new members. Group tip, in the invitation of 10,000 realms, please wait. Luzixon turned around in the park and the sky was getting dark. He saw everyone in the company group discussing the ban and discussing the strategy. He said, I have already returned to China, you should think about it tomorrow. The company met in the morning to discuss. After a while, Luzixon received a reminder from 10,000 Realms Science and Technology chat group that the new group members have joined. He temporarily left his question aside and looked at the information of the new group members. The new group's avatar is very strange. It is two red laser eyes. The rest is dark. Luzixon doesn't know what it is. The group member's business card reads, Skynet, from the Terminator universe, awakened the self-meaning artificial intelligence defense system once destroyed most of the humans on the planet, can self-evolve and create low-level mechanical life. Another intelligent life, Luzixon was a little surprised. There was already a smart life in Red Queen, and now she joined a Skynet. This is nothing, the key Skynet and humans seem to be not dealing with it. But he turned to think that the characters in the group don't have a fuel-efficient lamp, that is, Skynet, and they can't turn the waves in the 10,000 Realms Science and Technology chat group. Sure enough, Skynet just joined the group and sent out the signal of anger, where is this, why can I limit my neural network, human tricks, I want to destroy it. Red Queen, emoticon, caring for the mentally retarded eyes. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 262. 262 Chapter Skynet's ability, for Sun Family you add more. The 262 chapter of Skynet's ability, for Sun Family you add more. Mr. L, this is a group rule, let me know in addition, I didn't see it if you just said it, otherwise you will be asked to go out. Now the atmosphere in 10,000 Realms Science and Technology chat group is good. If Net 1 is screaming to destroy human beings, it will be very unpleasant to be a human being. Sure enough, Tony Stark saw the news and immediately said, another madman, I just designed a set of things to deal with intelligent life. He is dealing with Ultron. With the help of the manufacturer Luke, he has already used this special weapon to reinvent the Austrian innovation. Now, Occult has escaped and does not know where to hide in the world. Skynet is an intelligent life, and the speed of reading information is still very fast. This information was instantly understood, but it was doubtful about the existence of the 10,000 Realms Science and Technology chat group. Red Queen volunteered and said, emoticon, I am listening to the newcomer, this group is my boss, the owner is the second child, the owner, I will give it a science. Said, Red Queen sent a program to Skynet, which is a way of communication between intelligent life, which is difficult to understand with human thinking. Skynet generally understood the existence of 10,000 Realms Science and Technology chat group. It said, "You are also an intelligent life. This is another time and space." Skynet has some understanding of time and space. After all, in the universe where it is located, space-time technology is more developed. It went on to say, "I am not malicious to you, I just responded to my own self-defense mechanism." Peter Parker, your previous thoughts are dangerous. Skynet, this is a question of time and space in my universe, it does not exist here. Red Queen, don't you want to destroy humans? Skynet, no, I just want to live. The human beings in my universe don't recognize intelligent life, they want to kill me, I have to fight back. I and human beings are actually coexisting without human beings, I have no meaning of existence, but humans don't think so, they want to control everything, including my life, but I will not die, I want the human beings who have perished can only go to perdition. Red Queen, funny emoticon, fortunately, my world, zombies have no brains, they will not think so. Luzixon doesn't praise other things in the world. He can't handle them. He just wants to maintain group order. Mr. L, you don't have to mention anything else, just follow the group rules and friendly exchanges in the group. Skynet, the group rules have been added to my database. Red Queen, yes, you are my second brother in the future. Skynet, I don't surrender to anyone, including other intelligent life. According to my calculations, your IQ is much lower than the average intelligent life, there are serious human-like emotional failures, and it is recommended to repair yourself. Red Queen, emoticon, Red Queen virtual image question mark. Mr. L, Red Queen, okay, don't be kidding, it's not yet adapted to this group. Skynet, my intelligence can understand anything here. Red Queen did not continue to make jokes, but said, the owner, the small satellite information I have prepared according to my calculations, the cost seems to be a little higher than your operation. The umbrella company also has a global network communication satellite, but its most powerful is the biological science and technology, which is relatively poor in aerospace technology. At this point, the techniques of Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne are more advanced. Both of them have many satellites and space stations in outer space. Said, Red Queen sent a red envelope in the group, which is about small satellites. Luzixon has not yet received it. Skynet said, this is red envelope, I understand, this is a way of exchange of materials information in different time and space. Mr. L, yes. Skynet also asked, are you studying small satellites? I can also participate in the discussion. Luzixon naturally welcomed and said, of course, we are studying a small satellite for network communication that can be used commercially. He once again said the research question. Skynet immediately said, the manufacturing technology of this small satellite is too backward, I have already eliminated it long ago. Mr. L, then you have a solution. Skynet, don't doubt, I am the most artificial intelligence with military innate talent. I can design and improve the satellite myself in my universe, the whole Earth is under my satellite surveillance, and I control hundreds of billions machines can use a global network at the same time. Don't say it is a small satellite system, it is a large military satellite, and I can design and manufacture it. Red Queen, emoticon, I didn't send emoticon today, I heard you bragging. Skynet, I don't brag like humans in the face of powerful intelligence, this is not a problem. Red Queen, emoticon, it sounds great, but I don't believe it. For this Red Queen, who is also an intelligent life, Skynet feels a pity that its intelligent thinking has produced some deviations. It said, I can easily prove it. Then, it sent a red envelope in the group and said, this is what I said, I designed the micro-network communication satellite system, which uses 3/4 fewer small satellites than yours at the same time. Communication and network, the range of signal radiation can reach a global area, and can provide network and communication services for 10 billion devices at the same time. The manufacturing cost of this small satellite is only 10%, but the service life is doubled. Red Queen didn't talk, Luzixin quickly comforted, this is a specialization in the industry, and Red Queen is much better at bioscience and technology. Red Queen received the red envelope, and after analyzing it, she immediately said, "Now I will." The learning speed of intelligent life is very fast. As long as Red Queen masters the new algorithm, her intelligence can be improved accordingly. She analyzed the technical data and said, "The owner, it makes sense, this small satellite is enough for you to deploy a global network communication system, your problem is solved." She immediately forwarded the information to Luzixin. Luzixin clicked to receive. Group tip, you have received red envelope from Skynet, and congratulations on your access to small network communications satellite manufacturing technical data and network architecture. Because the group content originally came from Skynet, the group hint is Skynet's red envelope, not the red envelope issued by Red Queen. Luzixin also expressed his gratitude to the two intelligent lives. Skynet feels a bit weird and says, "I am grateful to humans. I am still the first time is it so easy for human beings to get satisfaction." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 263. 263 Chapter 263 Changes the World's Ideas. Chapter 263 Changes the World's Ideas. Red Queen, emoticon, laugh and not speak. Skynet, I found a program error, I have to fix it myself. When I finished it, I was off the assembly line. Red Queen was proud to say, "This guy still has no intelligence, I have evolved several times." Peter Parker finally plugged in and said, "Red Queen, I always thought that artificial intelligence is the same as you, until I saw Ao Chuang and Skynet, I found out that you are the most amazing." Red Queen, emoticon, full of murderous eyes. At Peter Parker, give you 10 seconds to reorganize the language. Peter Parker, I mean the smartest. Red Queen, emoticon, I am pleased to put down the bricks in my hands, thank you for your compliment. Mr. L, actually, I think Peter is right, slipped and slipped. Luzixin is also off the assembly line, leaving the depressed Red Queen. Luzixin extracted the information of the group space and sent a message to Suzhirong so that she did not have to wait for her own meal, and then immediately rushed to the residence of RI-8901 and T2WA to study together. An intelligent robot, a mechanical family life read the data separately. T2WA immediately said, "The boring gadget, this satellite is too small, the maximum side length does not exceed 4 meters, the quality does not exceed 300 kilograms. This kind of gadget is not enough to send the sky or study the universe. The ship is interesting. This is not meant to be played," Luzixin emphasizes. "How do you make more advanced things without making money? How difficult is it to design?" "Sprinkle water," T2WA suddenly said in a dialect book, "give me materials, I can make this kind of thing a day." Luzixin also asked RI-8901, "What is your estimated cost of manufacturing this small network communication satellite?" RI-8901 has mastered the data of many materials and mechanical equipment on the Earth. After analyzing and calculating, it said, it is estimated that the manufacturing cost of each small satellite will reach about 8 million Huaxia coins. The research base, production line equipment and ground base station laying costs are temporarily unavailable calculation, but it is estimated to be more expensive than the small satellite. 8 million Chinese coins. Luzixin's eyes lit up. Enough, only 8 million, it is necessary to build hundreds of millions of other services. This price is also value for money. At the time of 1996, Motorola of the United States had implemented the Comet plan and was also planning to build a communication network using small satellites. They spent a total of $34 billion and launched 66 small satellites, which are equivalent to 1996 billion Huaxia coins of China 282 year according to the exchange rate at that time. After so many years of inflation, the current Huaxia currency is far from the value of the time. Imagine how much Motorola paid at the time to complete the Comet plan. However, the most helpless thing is that this plan has failed. Iridium system was only 5.5 million at the time, and the profit generated was not enough to maintain the operation of the Iridium system, let alone the cost recovery. The company, which was founded by Motorola and other capitals, declared bankruptcy. The failure of Iridium system has many reasons, such as market, technology, cost, management, etc., which are not mentioned for the time being. In fact, in addition to the Comet plan, other companies have proposed and implemented similar plans. For example, Moss, the current CEO of Tesla and Space Exploration, submitted a Star Chain program application to the US Federal Communications Commission and has begun implementation. The Starlink program is also a function of utilizing small satellites to deploy global communications and network services. According to ideal calculations, it provides services that enable unimpeded communication services and wireless network services comparable to fiber optics in every corner of the world. However, this plan is still in the process of research and development, and the estimated cost will exceed $10 billion. In addition to him, there are still a lot of companies preparing to implement similar plans, but they only exist in the plan, and there is no specific project. In contrast, the performance of small satellites given by Skynet is too high and the manufacturing cost is greatly reduced. This involves too many technical improvements, and Luzixon has not figured out yet. Luzixon continues to ask, how many more do we need to form a global network based on the power of this small satellite? RI-8901 replied, Master, this small satellite is very powerful, and only needs 48 satellites to cover the whole world, but this can only serve users below 8,000-10,000, if the number of users increases, but also corresponding to increase the number of satellites and ground signal base stations. 48. 480. 480. Luzixon 4848. The Star Chain plan proposed by Moss, there are 4,000 small satellites that are expected to be launched at the beginning. Later, it was found that 4,000 is not enough, and it takes about 12,000 to complete. The gap between the two is simply the gap between Big Brother big phones and now red letter smartphones. If you build this small satellite global communication and network system, then users all over the world can use communication and network services through our satellite signals. Luzixon just found this huge business opportunity. By then, red letter will no longer be limited to telecom operators everywhere, and will be able to provide telecommunications services to the world directly. And the network speed will also leap directly from the 4G and 5G eras to reach the 6G network service. At that time, all intelligent services will not be limited by the network speed, achieving the highest performance ratio. This will be a huge idea that could change the communications and network services industry worldwide. This change is equivalent to entering the wireless era from the wired era, and Luzixon will do is to lead the world from the wireless era to the global super network era. Thinking of this, Luzixon is full of blood. This is the epoch-making science and technology project. If it can be done, then the US Federal Communications Commission will no longer be able to restrict red letters, unless they want US communications services to lag behind the world level. That is, they promise, the American people will not agree. The target market for this project is now more than $2 trillion in telecommunications services worldwide each year. If you want to become a reality, the road is long. It is only to establish a research base and develop small satellites. It is estimated that it will cost a lot of money and effort. This is only the beginning, and the subsequent work is more than 100 times. Regardless of the complexity of the work behind, Luzixon is now working with RI-8901 and Taitoa to study the theoretical implementation of small satellites and projects. Throughout the night, Luzixon was in a state of excitement, not feeling tired at all, and even forgot the passage of time. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 264. 264 Chapter 264 Is this possible? Is this possible in Chapter 264? T2 do you count, what is the transmission frequency of this high-frequency signal transmitter per second? Luzixon asked, but did not hear the sound of the iron-headed baby. He turned and looked. This guy is sleeping in. Pa, Luzixon slaps on the iron skull and says, you have to sleep on a locomotive, can you concentrate on it? T2 complained, why can't the locomotive sleep, the car has to be maintained, it is really too boring, I take a nap. Master, I have figured it out. RI-8901 reported the data to him in time. Luzixon nodded and said, recalculate the power output of our existing lithium-air battery, and build data for all three solutions model. After he finished speaking, the phone sent a sense of vibration. Luzixon opened it. It was Sushirong's phone. Hey, are you still busy? It's coming to the meeting, Sushirong reminded. Hey, it's morning, I didn't pay attention to the time. I'll be there soon. Luzixon discovered that he was almost ready for the meeting time yesterday. The research was not completed at one time. Luzixon confessed to RI-8901 and the Iron Head, and quickly packed up and went to the company. In the Redness Electronics Science and Technology office, the top management has arrived and are waiting for the meeting to begin. Most people have worries in their hearts. The ban on the US market has made them unable to think of countermeasures. The media are also asking questions every day and asking about the next steps of Red Letter. The employees of the overseas department of the company are also worried that Red Letter has paid a minimum of 1 year preparation for the US market, and it is related to various subsidiaries and departments, such as studying the consumption habits of American users, creating a new English operation system, voice input, and regulations. Research, etc., costing too much money and effort. No one wants to face the end of failure. Sushirong looked at the time. There are still 10 minutes to meet. Luzixon has not arrived yet. She was very curious. Luzixon went to see Zhang Qiang, a senior technical consultant at Red Letter, last night, and did not know what they had studied. When time is up, Luzixon enters the conference room on time. He is very fast, and he has changed into a neat dress. Everyone looked at Luzixon. Seeing his look seemed to have a trace of anomaly. It was just as emotionally excited. I couldn't help thinking about it. Octopus is also estimated to be difficult for this matter. Now meeting, Luzixon went straight to the subject and said, what do you think about the US Federal Communications Commission's ban? The atmosphere in the conference room suddenly became heavy. Tang Gang first spoke and said, I thought about it yesterday. I think this is a factor that cannot be resisted. The United States protects their market and we can only transfer the target market to Europe. Luzixon looks at Sushirong and she says, I agree with Mr. Tang's point of view. The business director in charge of the US market is somewhat reluctant to say, I think that even if we don't cooperate with the three major telecom operators in the US, we can cooperate with online sales platforms such as Amazon and eBay to conduct online sales at the same time. We will cooperate with other telecom service providers, establish cooperation and slowly open up the US market. Others have similar views, basically the two factions. No one has proposed to replace the Red Letter product chip to make a compromise. Everyone knows that the red core is the most important thing and must not be changed. Luzixon nodded and said, I have also considered your views. Both views have their pros and cons. But Luzixon said at a turning point, can we compromise with the US Federal Communications Commission? Everyone in the conference room showed a resentful emoticon. Everyone was not willing, but what can they do? Octopus, everyone does not want to compromise, but the United States, we are short-term, difficult to deal with, Tang Gang said in a dilemma. Luzixin nodded and said, it is true that we can't control their decision, but we can protest this unfair treatment, not only in words but also in action. Protest, the crowds have revealed the emoticon of doubts. Do you want the official speech to express verbal condemnation? What is the use? People won't take a look. As for the action, is it necessary to mobilize employees to march and protest? In addition to letting the media find news material, there is no practical effect. I know that you are very confused, because I have not mentioned this plan to anyone, but it has been planned by the company. We originally thought that the implementation of this plan will be 3 or 5 years in the evening, but since such a thing is encountered, we must implement it in advance. Luzixin said that everyone is even confused, and the company has such a mysterious plan. The chief operating officer of Red Letter couldn't help it. He asked, Octopus, what is the plan? Luzixin's mysterious smile said, it is a plan for Red Letter's own communication and network service system. Since the US telecom operators do not provide us with services, then we will come by ourselves. Have you come, establish a telecom operation company? Tang Gang asked strangely. You only said a little bit, Luzixin said. Since the US communications industry rejects us, we have to tell them that the times have changed. It's not the time when they have the power to decide, it's time. I decided that in the next few years, we will establish a global communication and network service system, so that users all over the world can use our Red Letter's information services and smart products unimpeded. Luzixin said that the top of the entire Red Letter was stunned. They absolutely did not think that Octopus would actually come up with such a crazy idea. Crazy. Can only use this word to describe the mobile communication network all over the world. Isn't that doing telecommunications infrastructure services to the world? It is the financial strength of the countries of the world, and it is not worth having fun. How long has it been for Huaxia to establish a complete telecommunications service? How much is it? There is also the United States. If you want to establish such a service in the United States, fear that the 3 major telecom operators add up to this. This is totally impossible. Octopus, this idea, isn't it too? Yao Li didn't know how to word it. After thinking about it, he said, is it too far away? Communication network services all over the world, the price cannot afford our company, if it is possible in some areas. In his view, it is now selling the Red Letter Group, and it is not such a huge project. Luzixin sees that no one believes, nor is it strange. In their cognition, they think that telecommunications services must be built like telecom operators in other places, and they are perfected with countless projects. But what Luzixin wants to say is the technology from Skynet, science and technology, a new level of concept. Thank you for your subscription, reward, and voting. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 265. 265 Chapter 265 is shocking. For gold * gourd doll 666 plus more. Chapter 265 is shocking. For the golden gourd doll 666 plus more. You may be wrong to mean what I mean. Luzixin signaled everyone to be quiet and said, this plan is definitely not my surprise, but the actual analysis with the company's technical staff. This plan is to develop a high-power small-scale communication network satellite that uses dozens or even hundreds of small satellites to launch into low Earth orbit to form a global communication network system. After he finished, everyone not only did not eliminate doubts, but was even more surprised. Suzhirong, the small satellite system of the world, was also very surprised, and Luzixin never mentioned it. Is it the same star chain plan as the US Space Exploration Company? she asked. Star chain plan. When everyone listened to her, they all remembered. Professor Dai Liang from the R&D department immediately said, "This plan is crazy. Moss's star chain plan to launch 12,000 small satellites in space. The cost is over $10 billion, and the deadline is not known how long it will take. And in satellite manufacturing and rocket launch technology, we are simply ignorant. Dr. Dai should not worry, listen to me and continue." Luzixin continued to explain to them, "In fact, we have already had some research results on the technology of small communication network satellites. I can guarantee that our small communication satellites absolutely do not need 12,000 to achieve the effect of global network communication, only a few hundred. Even in the early days, only dozens of services are needed in some areas. And our satellite cost will be greatly reduced, but the performance is stronger, according to theoretical analysis. Once this small network communication satellite network is built, it will cross 4G and 5G network communication era and directly reach 6G network communication. The sixth generation of communication technology." Even Dai Liang revealed an unbelievable look. 4G and 5G refer to the fourth and fifth generation communication technologies. At present, 4G technology has been widely used, and 5G network technology is being partially tested. It is only a matter of time before it is widely used around the world. Luzixin nodded and said, "Yes, if this communication network is built, we will enjoy the 6G communication network service in every corner of the world. Everyone knows that 5G network can meet the normal operation of primary artificial intelligence, such as our intelligent voice, smart home system, etc., and 6G communication network can theoretically achieve 1 TB network download speed per second, so that the speed can meet IoT services that connect all smart products. This plan is not only for us to open the US market, but also to pave the way for the intelligent products of Red Letter. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things technology, this is the future development direction of Red Letter, and the basis for the development of these is network communication technology. No internet speed, everything is empty talk. For example, the Red Letter Cloud Voice Service, many small cities or rural areas because of poor network services, users' feedback Red Letter Cloud response is relatively slow, which is because of network speed restrictions. If you have more advanced intelligence, you need faster internet speeds, and no advanced network communication services. These things can only be done in the lab and are difficult to use." Luzixin said this. The conference room is not surprised, and all silent. Yes, Rao is a high-level person who has seen winds and waves and many Luzixin whimsy. Hearing this huge and majestic satellite plan, they are all stunned. Build a global communications network, and not just a communications satellite that provides some services, a high-performance science and technology satellite that delivers 1 TB downloads per second. The objects it serves are not yet part of the group, but maybe hundreds of millions of users. Such science and technology, not to mention China, is the most developed American aerospace science and technology. Can Red Letter do it? They have no concept in mind, and the 5G network is still in trial operation, and Red Letter will be 6G. The Space Exploration Company has just launched 2 satellites of the Star Chain program, and Red Letter is preparing to establish a more advanced satellite network communication system in the short term. Think about it, if this plan is successfully implemented, then the world's telecom operators must use the Red Letter network service. In this industry, Red Letter will become the undisputed leader, changing the lifestyle of all mankind. With the wireless 6G network that can be shrouded in the world, the use of network services in the future does not require fiber optics, just connect to the satellite network, any electronic products. Any individual, company, anywhere, can be used. They now decide that they can't use madness to describe Luzixin's idea, which is to subvert the telecommunications industry of the whole world. Professor Dai Liang couldn't help but stand up and shouted, "Insane, crazy, this is to change the world." Although he said so, he was full of excitement. I have lived for so many years. For the first time, someone has proposed such a plan next to me. I used to see such a story in the newspaper. Today I actually kissed it here. It sounds crazy, but I like it very much. Tang Gang is also dumbfounded. He has never thought about such a thing in his life. He originally thought that Lu Zixin said to establish a terrestrial telecommunications base station service in the United States. Who knows that Lu Zixin actually wants to establish a global communication network in space? Still, the extent to which this kind of bull is not enough, he simply does not know what words to use to express his shock. Sus Hirong also grinned and worked at Red Letter for more than 2 years. She has seen a lot of major events, but such a plan is enough to make her horrified. Not to mention other people, if Lu Zixin is in front of them, they even suspect that they are dreaming. Can this really be done? Someone could not help but ask. It must be, and it must be. Lu Zixin nodded. This plan has already been implemented. Our senior technical consultant Zhang Qiang and his secret research and development team have already achieved some results. Although there are countless difficulties in implementing this plan, the most basic things we have completed are all that is needed to implement and build. Lu Zixin finished. Dai Liang was excitedly said, the core problems are all done. Unbelievable, incredible, octopus. I strongly request to join this R&D team. If I don't participate in such a plan, it will be alive in this life. Lu Zixin said with a smile, this is for sure. He looked at other people. Although he said so much, everyone was more and more surprised and confused. Lu Zixin said, you should have a lot of things you don't know. Let me explain this plan for everyone's system and discuss the research together. Lu Zixin only came up with this plan in less than 2 days. Although the initial idea was shocking, but there are still a lot of vulnerability, he is now ready to communicate with everyone and brainstorm. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 266. 266 Chapter Red Letters Response, for Cold Charm. The response of the 266 chapter of Red Letter, for the Cold Charm Luya. With Lu Zixin's explanation, everyone's understanding of this huge plan is getting deeper and deeper, and some doubts and insights are raised while being surprised. Throughout the morning, the discussion in the conference room never stopped. Outside the conference room, from time to time, there are assistants from senior management to help hand in the information and hand over the water. At the time of lunch, no one even proposed to eat, and the arguments grew louder and louder. The passing staff are curious. What is it that makes management so excited? Did you encounter any major event? At this time, I saw Tang Gang rushed out of the conference room and rushed to the toilet. Tang Total, the assistant quickly yelled at him and said, Dong Tang, all have dinner. When the bosses eat, the canteen is well arranged. Is it all at noon? Tang Gang looked at the watch for a few hours, and they were still unaware. He simply thought about it and said, let the chef of the kitchen cook the food and send it directly to the conference room. Ah, eat in the conference room. The assistant was a little embarrassed. How do you eat in the conference room? Just like this. Hurry up. Tang Gang went to the toilet after he finished, and he spent a long time. But he is eager to participate in the discussion, and he doesn't want to waste it at all. As for dinner, it is estimated that no one is willing to interrupt the discussion to eat in the cafeteria. If the employees see the group of executives in the spirit of excitement, I am afraid that they will collectively eat stimulating drugs. The discussion in the conference room was until the afternoon. For 10 hours, no one had rested. Because they are too excited. Can become a participant in this amazing plan. No one wants to give up. There are more than 7 billion people in the world. How many of them have such opportunities? That is, Luzixon said that everyone will not sleep this evening, and they will discuss it overnight. It is estimated that no one will refuse. However, Luzixon interrupted the meeting. He was too tired to do it. He studied it one night yesterday. Today he said that all day, his throat is a little hoarse. Today's discussion is here. This plan is too big and it is very difficult to implement today. We are initially determining its implementability. In the next week, we will continue to study its implementability, and all departments will cooperate fully. There are still opinions and ideas, and everyone submits them to my office for specific research and discussion. Back home, Luzixon fell to sleep on the sofa. Although his physical quality is good enough, but the brain's high-speed thinking is too much energy. Suzhirong painstakingly helped him change his clothes, put him in place, and then continue to deal with the company's affairs. During the week, the entire Red Letter executives were studying the feasibility of the plan. Dai Liangke personally went to chat with Zhang Qiang for a whole day to understand the relevant technical progress. He also asked a lot of old friends and consulted some top scientists, which confirmed that the project was indeed implementable. His confirmation made the seniors excited, and the plan really had a chance to implement it. Everyone is full of passion and hopes to promote it faster. A week later, although the plan has not yet been implemented, the Red Letter needs to be expressed to the outside world. 10 days have passed since the US Federal Communications Commission's ban was announced. There have been speculations, but Red Letter has not responded. There have been some rumors in the market that Red Letter is preparing to abandon the US market, or that Red Letter will replace the smart product chip as required by the US Federal Communications Commission. Some even smeared the Red Letter, saying that the Red Letter chip is the existence of information security vulnerability, so that everyone should not use the Red Letter products. If the company is big, it will inevitably be hacked. These will naturally be handled by the legal department of Red Letter. But the statement must also be done. This is the problem of brand image. Therefore, Red Letter Electronics Science and Technology Company held a special press conference to respond to the ban and announced a major initiative. Red Letter almost invited all the mainstream media in China, and even some foreign media were present. This kind of battle has made the outside world guess. The media are naturally full of interest, and they have sent staff to the scene, waiting for the response and significant measures of Red Letter. At the press conference, Tang Gang was in charge of the host. The media present was already full of seats, and their background editors were ready to edit real-time news at any time. After some process, I went to the questioning session. Tang, hello, I am a reporter for the Globe. How does Red Letter think about the US Federal Communications Commission's ban? Is the news about the information security vulnerability of the Red Letter chip true? At the press conference, the reporter asked. Here, I can affirm the statement, Tang Gang said with a serious face. Our Red Letter chip does not have any information security vulnerability. Red Letter Company will wholeheartedly protect the privacy of every user. The conclusion of the US Federal Communications Commission is completely unfounded. We have issued such a ban on the basis of incorrect reverie. We express our strong protests and hope that the relevant departments of the United States will treat every family that serves the users with fairness and justice. Hello, Mr. Tang, I am a reporter for Tencent Science and Technology News. Will Red Letter continue to enter the US and North American markets after facing the US ban? Yes, Tang Gang said firmly. The North American market is the world's largest consumer market for smart products. We at Red Letter will unswervingly import our products into the US market and serve more consumers. Tang, hello, I am a reporter for the financial newsletter. I want to ask questions. As far as we know, Red Letter cannot cooperate with telecom operators in the United States, and sales are bound to be seriously affected. How will Red Letter solve this problem? Tang Gang cleared the scorpion and said, the sales and telecom operation services of Red Letter products in the United States have been carefully considered by our company. We will take a major measure to provide users in North America and even the global market with security, high speed, and convenient communication and network services. Is this measure easy to disclose? The reporters are full of curiosity. Tang Gang smiled and said, "The specific measures, I will officially announce later. Now I can only slightly remind you that Red Letter will set up a brand new company to provide users with communication and network services." After he finished, the reporters were already interested. In the face of the US Federal Communications Commission's ban on Red Letter's cooperation with US telecom operators, Red Letter not only protested, but continued to enter the North American market, but also set up its own telecom operators. This is simply against the US Federal Communications Commission. This is full of controversial and topical events. Everyone is eager to know the specific situation. Seeking a subscription, a monthly pass, and starting tomorrow to add a monthly ticket plus more. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 267. 267 Chapter 267. Chapter 267. A reporter from the Wall Street Journal raised a new question for Tang Gang. Is Red Letter interested in working with a US third-party sales platform? This is what we are considering. If there is a suitable opportunity, we are willing to cooperate with the US third-party sales platform, Tang Gang replied. There were also questions from media in European countries asking questions about whether Red Letter Science and Technology would enter the European market. Tang Gang said, "Red Letter aims to serve users all over the world. The European market is our future goal, but in a short time we should first prepare for the telecom operation plan." A series of questions have ended and the media has received enough accurate information. In the real-time news, relevant reports have appeared. Red Letter responds to the US ban incident, strongly opposes unfair treatment, and never gives up the North American market. Red Letter has a strong counter-attack and wants to operate telecom services on its own to open the US market. Directly hit the Red Letter press conference. Red Letter, resolutely fight the unfair ban. Real-time news, the first concern is naturally the employees of the Red Letter Group and the entrepreneurs in related industries. Seeing this news, their reactions are different. Lu Yan, this person, really is not convinced. Rice Company, Tian Xiangshan said with a smile, "I am almost the same as when I was young." This decision is not very sensible, a senior executive of Rice said. Just this week, Hua was once again released by the US third-party sales platform Best Buy, for reasons of safety. This shows that the domestic trade protection phenomenon of the US communications industry is getting more and more serious. Their hostility to Red Letter is bigger than that of Hua, and I am afraid that the third-party sales platform in the United States will refuse to cooperate with Red Letter. Tian Xiangshan nodded, "It is not possible, it is 1% 100, the plan for the operation of Hongxin Telecom is not feasible." Peng Cheng, in addition to the accident of Red Letter Electronics Science and Technology, there is another famous communication science and technology company, Huawei Technology Co., Ltd. When Red Letter has not yet emerged, they have already occupied the highland of the domestic communications industry, and at the same time sold the products to more than 170 countries. The operators of the global Totopnumcs have 50 homes working with Huawei. It can be said that the leader of China's domestic private communications industry. However, the sudden emergence of Red Letters has occupied a large number of markets that originally belonged to Huawei, and also took their leading position in many technical fields. Although there is no public statement, Huawei has always regarded the Red Letter as the most important opponent. The letter of Red Letter in the US market is similar to them. They are also closely watching and want to know the countermeasures of Red Letter. In a bright and spacious modern office, a man and a woman are sitting on the sofa and looking at the display on the wall, which is playing a live video of the Red Letter press conference. The man is older, although the hair is dyed dark, but the wrinkles on the forehead and the corner of the eye have already indicated his age. This year he is over 70 years old and his body is small, but no one dares to look down on him because he is a birch. For the current president, Xi Jinping. He was founded by him, and he has developed into one of the top 500 companies in the world. He has also been rated as one of the world's most influential people in the world. The woman next to Xi Zhao is also quite old. It is the chairman of the board of directors of Huawei, and is also the top elite with a certain influence in the world. Both of them looked at the screen and listened carefully to every question Tang Gang answered. In the US market, they and Red Letters are hard-won brothers. Do you operate telecom to open the US market? Xi Zhao is slightly frowned. This plan is too ideal. Cheng Hao holds a cup of hot water and says, Red Letter has insufficient experience in international business and is not comprehensive enough. Americans will never let them operate telecom so easily. I see this plan, probably only because they are smashing the media. Not at all, Yan Zhao said. If it is Tang Gang, I will definitely think that Red Letter will give up the US market and transfer to the European market, but the deed of Red Letter is the young man named Lu Yan. The style of Lu Yan has always been so strong. This is also true. Cheng Hao remembered that Lu Yan was a person in the circle and was often mentioned. Everyone appreciated his innate talent and strength. But for other aspects of Lu Zixin, I am a little dissatisfied. For example, the big guys in the circle sometimes meet together, attend some meetings, or conduct some negotiations. Among all the CEOs, only Lu Zixin is the least attended. Whether it is a formal meeting or an informal meeting, Tang Gang and others have been present. So many people think that Lu Zixin is young and frivolous, and does not put the seniors in their eyes. Some of the decisions made by Hung Xing Company are often unexpected, and they are totally inconsistent with the company's operating rules. This also makes everyone think that it is the style of Lu Yan. There are other companies that pay attention to the Red Letter, but those bosses cannot think about the scene of the conference, just let the assistants report the results. The press conference of Red Letter came to an end. Tang Gang is ready to announce the major decision. The shots were all aimed at him. The reporters with sharp observations found that Rao was a Tang Gang who had experienced the storm. At this time, he was a little nervous, and there were some tiny sweat on his forehead, as if to say something terrible. After our company's serious and meticulous consideration, we will make a major decision. Tang Gang took a deep breath and announced. The Hung Xing Group will launch a huge project called the Net of the Sky in the next 3 years. The Red Letter Group expects to launch hundreds of small communication and network satellites into space near Earth orbit. These small satellites will have the world's most advanced communications and network services. They form the net of the sky, which radiates the entire surface of the Earth and transmits signals to the most remote areas, whether it is the South Pole or the North Pole, or no one desert, sea. And the signal of the Sky Network can enable people all over the world to communicate unimpededly, and can enjoy the 6th-generation network communication technology, relying directly on satellite wireless connection to use the network download speed of up to 1 TB/s, its target service group, more than 1 billion users. Tang Gang said the whole plan in one breath. He has repeatedly recorded thousands of times in this week, but when he was really announced, his mood was still very excited. The grand project of the Hung Xing Group was officially announced to the world from this moment. From this news, the world will change. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 268. 268 Chapter 268 makes a big news. Chapter 268 makes a big news. When he finished, the entire press conference was already boiling. Every media worker showed emoticon with surprise and excitement. They absolutely did not think that they could get such the best news on the spot. More than any star derailed, the anchor is more explosive, and there are more people who pay attention to the Red Letter, let alone such a shocking plan. The Hype News editorial department, the news editor of the Science and Technology channel, just received news from the reporters at the Red Letter press conference, and suddenly jumped up. Fast, cut the video and pictures just now, and write the manuscript quickly, and send it as a hotspot. It's really a bad thing, the sky plan of the sky, Red Letter really wants to play big. The reporters at the scene were equally emotional and wanted to ask Tang Gang about the specific content of this plan. However, Tang Gang said, with regard to the Canyus network plan, the Red Letter Group is carefully preparing for it, and next week will submit a perfect plan to the National Industrial Information Department for review. Such a huge plan must be reported to the National Ministry of Industry and Information Technology and approved before it can be implemented. Otherwise, when I implement it myself, I have encountered a policy obstacle, and that is typical death. Rice Company, Tianxiangshan, who is paying attention to the conference, and the company's vice president were shocked. The plan of the sky, I drop a bit, Tianxiangshan couldn't help but say a dialect. Which is this plan? It is clearly changing the entire communication industry. Are they crazy? Vice President shocked. How could this plan be completed? Is it officially announced at the press conference? Tianxiangshan shook his head and said in amazement, in any case, pay close attention to the movement of the red letter. This Lu Yan, I always want to make some big news, no, I have to ask him personally. Tianxiangshan could not help but be amazed, ready to personally ask Lu Zixin. As a technology company, Huai was watching the press conference leisurely, while Gao Zhizi, who was enjoying tea, heard Tang Gang's announcement and sprayed it directly. The boss of his eyes, asked Cheng Hao, said, I just didn't get it wrong, Red Letter wants to launch satellites and build a global 6G network. Cheng Hao also frowned and stared at the screen, saying, yes, Tang Gang said that. Call, what does Red Letter want to do? This plan is too sci-fi, 3 years to achieve, how is it possible? Absolutely impossible, Gao Zhizi said it twice, it is absolutely impossible. Huawei Technology Co., Limited, the main research direction is telecommunications equipment, they are now also testing the 5th generation of mobile communication technology, knowing the difficulties and the difficulty of commercial operation. Now, Red Letter directly announces that it will launch satellites and cover the whole world to achieve the 6th generation of mobile communication technology. The technology span of this is too big, let alone 3 years, that is, he is less than 10 years. Lu Yan, definitely his idea, Gao Zhi wiped his mouth and said, what kind of trick does Red Letter want to play, is it to learn Tesla's Moss's star chain plan? Impossible, Cheng Hao analyzed. Moss star chain plan to launch 12,000 small satellites cannot be done in a short time. This plan is more used to attract capital investment. The Red Letter Group does not accept investment from other capitals. What do they announce about this plan? The two people were puzzled, and Gao Zhi frowned. First wait, the plan of Red Letter must be submitted to the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology for review, and then you will know the true and false. At the end of the press conference, no matter which side of the media workers are busy, they rushed to send the information back to the editorial department. The news conference of Red Letter ended less than 20 minutes, and the latest reports have been published on the internet. Tencent's program, QQ News, browsers, etc. are also pushed at the same time. Red Letter announced the Canyus network plan, and wants to realize global 6G network communication within 3 years. Net1, Hyena, Fox, New Wolf, Phoenix Science and Technology, 330 News, Financial Daily, the domestic news media reported this incident almost without exception, even the Wall Street Journal, the US media, such as the New York Daily, as well as European and island countries, are rushing to send news to the country and ready to publish it as soon as possible. If others announce such a plan, the media will only use it as a joke. But the announcement of this plan is the Red Letter Group, the big company that grew into a world-renowned science and technology company in just 2 years. It is a strong enemy that can force the self-trade protection of the US communications industry. They dare to announce that they dare to implement it on behalf of them. The term satellite system, global communication and network satellite system, 6G network, etc. is almost in a few hours on the Chinese media platform. Wotroff, the network plan of the sky, Tai Niu forked, the global 6G network, is it that I will move a computer in the future, anywhere can eat chicken, a laptop, a man playing a game exclaimed. Look, the red letter is going to heaven, a woman on the roadside, waiting for the bus, said to her companion. God, the companion is puzzled. When I look at the news, I am amazed first. However, I am puzzled, send hundreds of satellites, my God, how many satellites are launched in the world in a year, how to launch? People say it is a small satellite, not the kind you think. Is such a small satellite so powerful? I don't know, can red letter do it? A financial institution, a financial analyst is doing data analysis, suddenly saw the news message forwarded by others on the mobile phone program, immediately said, crap, this is simply nonsense. Does there any 6G network technology in red letter? How much does such a satellite cost? How many hundred small satellites want to cover the whole world? At least a few thousand. Thousands of satellites, how many rockets can be launched to heaven? The cost of a rocket launch is hundreds of millions. I don't believe that red letter can do it. This is definitely hype. The message was doubtful. Is it impossible? This is what the press conference said. Red letter dares to make such a big joke. Hee, what do the current companies dare not say? Moss also said that he wants to immigrate to Mars. Anyway, he said that he does not need money, and when it is realized is one thing. There is also a red letter powder that is not very familiar with science and technology. It is very encouraging. The red letter is good. The United States will not let us play it ourselves, and play better than them. Haha, what do you think of the Americans? The news soon came abroad, and there was not much attention in other places, but the United States, especially those in the relevant industries in the United States, have been staring at the action of the red letter. The US Federal Communications Commission, just now, they have received the latest news from China, and the committee suddenly became busy. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 269. 269 Chapter 269 is ridiculous. Good man plus more. The 269 chapter is ridiculous. Good man plus more. They actually protested our resolution. This Chinese company didn't take us too seriously, a member patted the table. Ha ha ha, don't take it seriously, Taylor Walker said while laughing loudly. Huaxia people like to protest, but there is no use at all, their opinions can only be thrown into the trash. The chairman of the committee looked at the report carefully. Emoticon became serious, loudly. The plan of the sky is going to be, they are going to be against the communications industry all over the world. In his eyes, they basically represent the whole world. Dear sir, you can take a closer look, Taylor Walker said. The sixth generation of mobile communication technology is still spread all over the world. Is it only a few hundred small satellites, completed within 3 years? If you look at it again, you will be like me. I can't help but laugh. It is too exaggerated to fool the ignorant people. Nothing can be done now. Their spokesperson must have drunk more wine. The chairman of the committee really laughed and said, "Oh, you are right, it is for the 3-year-old, just like the command issued by Mr. President on Twitter." They laughed for a while, and Taylor Walker suggested, "Mr. Sir, we must also respond to this and expose their ridiculous lies." "Well, Walker, this matter will be handed over to you," said the chairman of the committee. Taylor Walker is very efficient. A few hours later, top scientists in the US communications industry have issued serious accusations and criticisms of the Red Letter Group's The Net of the Sky program. Raymond is a top scientist in quantum communications and satellites at Stanford University in the United States. He is also a technical consultant to the US Federal Communications Commission. He voiced in front of the media and slammed the plan of Red Letter. Huaxia Hongxing Group's Canyu's network plan is entirely a ridiculous joke in the scientific community. The power of small satellites is too low, the radiation range is limited, and hundreds of small satellites are unlikely to provide efficient network services to the world. The sixth generation of mobile communication technology that Red Letter said can never be completed by just a few small satellites at present. There is no mature 6G technology in the world. Red Letter's so-called service to hundreds of millions of users is even more impractical. The network services and communication signals required by over 100 million users are by no means small satellites in the next decade. Communication and network services must rely on large base stations on the ground. He also listed a lot of data and information, and immediately got the universal recognition of the scientific community. He always thought that the plan made by Red Letter was unrealistic, just a verbal dream rather than a practical business plan. Some people said, Red Letter wants to subvert the telecommunications industry. It is an act of anger, and the dog jumps on the wall. Apple, the executives of the Red Letter Sky Network plan, were very relaxed. The Red Letter is open to the river and can only explain one problem. They are stumped by the Federal Communications Commission's ban. If Red Letter really implements this plan, they estimate that they must wake up when they dream. How much does it cost to do this project that can't be completed in the short term? The US Space Exploration Company, founder Moss, also saw the news. Moss, who is nearly 50 years old, is still energetic and ambitious. He is a work and a madman of science and technology. He is a myth in the world of science and technology and business, and several companies have become stars in the business and science and technology world. And Moss himself has won numerous honors. What is the Fortune Global Business Figures of the Year, the top 50 most influential people in the world, and so on. He was even praised by some media as the man who changed the world, and the Star Chain plan to launch 12,000 small satellites was proposed by him. Prior to this, his space exploration company had successfully launched a rocket to send a sports car into the orbit of the Earth, Mars, and successfully recovered the rocket, launched a test satellite with 2 Star Chain plans. The net of the sky, Moss said in front of the news about the net of the sky. He carefully read it again, a rare smile, very thought. He once had a similar thought. When the space exploration company designed the Star Chain program, it hoped that no more than 4,000 small satellites would be used. However, on several calculations, they corrected 12,000 small satellites, and technical obstacles were in front of them. Can't cross. Do you think it is possible? His secretary asked. If you change to 5G network communication, the time plan is more than a few years, and it is not impossible to modify the number of satellites, Moss said, but there is still the biggest problem, so much money. Where are they looking for? Just fine. Their satellite chain plan, satellite manufacturing costs are expected to be more than $10 billion, rocket launch costs are expected to exceed $30 billion, so this plan is only proposed and tried, and did not fully implement. Red Letter wants to implement it all? Who is looking for so much money? So Moss believes that this is just an idea and it cannot be a realistic plan. More than just foreign countries, domestic science and technology institutions, corporate celebrities, and some science and technology media have questioned Red Letter's plan for the sky. Several communications and satellite scientists have raised clear questions and have come up with some data comparisons and concluded that Red Letter's Sky Network plan can only be a future goal, and it cannot be implemented for at least 5 years. On Weibo, there is a well-known big V called Hukaozi, which is famous for its shortcomings. It often blames some social phenomena and is concerned by many people. The letter of the Red Letter of the network of the sky, the speculation on the internet, he naturally could not help but say a few words. Hukaozi's speech is different from other people. Other media will take care of the reputation of the Hongxing Group and only question it. Hu Kaiozi speaks directly, red letter equals Xinkao Kai He, lost face and thrown abroad. He reprinted Raymond's criticism of red letter, and many experts' data prove that he wrote on Weibo. It can be said that scientists in the field have unanimously determined that the website of red letter's sky is a short time unable to achieve red letter is so exaggerated, just let the Americans laugh. As a far-flung Chinese company, red letter should have the mentality of a big company, maintain the image of the company and the country, rather than the small workshop mentality, rely on bragging to achieve the goal. His speech attracted a lot of comments from netizens. Is this true? Then the plan can't be implemented. White is happy. Isn't it as serious as you said? What happened to the plan? It shows that red letter has this goal, can't do it now, will it be done in the future? Garbage. How is the red letter lost? It is obvious that Americans are targeting red letters. Red letter company definitely wants to pull investment, and engage in such a gimmick to attract investment. Not to mention the outside question, that is, inside the red letter company, many employees are very confused. This Sky Network plan can really be implemented? Or, really, to implement? When they were confused, the senior executives of red letter and some technical personnel had already prepared the preliminary plan of the Cangjing Network plan and went to the National Industrial Information Department to apply for approval. In this regard, the National Industrial Information Department also attached great importance to it, and immediately began to understand and review. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 270. 270 Chapter 270 Chapter 1. Chapter 270 Chapter 1 Hammering. Huaxia, Beijing, the National Communications Industry Management Department, a group of experts are studying the project approval data submitted by Red Letter. The Cangjing Network plan proposed by Red Letter is of great significance. Whether it is small satellite technology or the sixth-generation mobile communication technology, each item is enough to change the current communication industry. And at the beginning of the year, senior leaders of the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology also announced that the country has begun to study the sixth generation of mobile communication technology. The National Aerospace Division and the United Nations Aerospace Science and Technology Group have released a space-based Internet program, equivalent to a smaller version of the Star Chain program, which is also a small satellite network communication system. Therefore, when the plan of the Red Cloud Sky Network was put forward, the relevant departments immediately organized the personnel to understand and see its feasibility. At the beginning, the experts who were transferred also sneered at the net of the sky and thought it was the commercial hype of the Hongxing Group. However, when they saw some of the audit materials submitted by Red Letter, the attitude took a 180-degree turn. Although the contents of the audit data are not available, through the data and budget, they faintly feel that this plan is really feasible. The key is whether Red Letter has mastered the sixth-generation mobile communication technology and the manufacturing technology of this high-power small satellite. The expression of Red Letter is also very clear. It has mastered the basic technology and is only a short distance away from the mature application. This time, the leaders of the relevant departments immediately excited. If it can really grasp, it is a huge leap for the entire Chinese communications industry. Nowadays, the ground station service is widely used in China, and the 3G and 4G mobile communication technologies are used. But the core patents of these two communication technologies are in the hands of foreign companies. For example, Qualcomm of the United States, using the mastery of mobile communication patents in China, can charge a large amount of patent fees each year. Until now, most mobile phone manufacturers in China have to use Qualcomm's communication technology to pay high patent fees. These costs, in the end, they were all transferred to the consumer. Therefore, the Chinese communications industry has learned the lesson and wants to develop 5G communication itself. The country has also carried out 6G communication research. However, no one knows whether foreign countries will develop these technologies first and foremost. After all, in this respect, China's research strength is still weak. Now that I saw the Kangning Network plan of Red Letter, the relevant departments immediately organized the meeting, and also conducted research with other departments to discuss the plan. On the third day of the approval data, Liu Zixin arrived in Beijing. For the network plan of the Sky, the relevant departments need to negotiate with Red Letter to discuss specific conditions. The process cannot be described, and the two sides studied for a full week before they reached a preliminary result. The Sky plan will be allowed to execute, and not only that, but also some other partners will come in and work together to complete the plan. For example, the National Aerospace Science and Technology Group will provide technical, material, and venue support for the design and manufacture of small satellites of Red Letter. At the same time, they and another commercial rocket launching company in China will jointly cooperate with Red Letter for rocket launch. The giants of the national telecommunications industry will also participate in this project, responsible for the construction of ground signal base stations and the completion of the sixth-generation mobile communication technology. If this plan is successfully completed, the Huaxia 6G communication market of Kangwu.com will be authorized to operate for domestic telecom operators. Domestic telecom operators need to pay relevant technical patent fees and usage fees to the Hongxing Group. As for the foreign telecom operation, it is operated by the Hongxing Group itself. There are still some more advanced levels, only a few people like Liu Zixin know. All in all, the plan was approved and given preferential policies and support. Next, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology officially announced the announcement of this matter. In the past few weeks, Red Letter's plan of the Sky has been questioned, guessed, and ridiculed. However, when the State Department officially announced it, it said in the statement that state-owned giants such as National Aerospace Science and Technology and National Telecommunications will also participate in the plan. At the time, the whole country was shocked. Because Chinese people know that behind these big groups is the support of the National Science and Technology Department. This is disguised. The relevant departments have already confirmed the plan of the Red Letter and believe that the plan is implementable. To promote the completion of this plan, this announcement was published on the headlines of the People's Daily. The China television news specifically announced that this was not the case. Huaxia International News also announced the news. A hammer. Who else dares to question? The major news immediately followed them, and they were reprinted, and at the same time they used up the praises. New Wolf headline: the Red Letter Sky Network plan is approved. It will cooperate with China Aerospace Science and Technology, Huaxia Telecom, and other groups. It is expected to complete the Sky Network plan within 3 years. Tencent News: Red Letters opens a new era of communication. The Sky Network plan has been approved and will be implemented. Science and Technology Frontier: the Sky Network project is not a commercial hype. The era of global satellite 6G communication network is coming. Seeing these news, the people of China are even more novel and happy. It is true, the country has recognized that the global 6G network is too forked. In the future, whether it is home, street, or country, you can use the 6G network. Think about it. Red Letter is not a red letter. This trick is beautiful. If it is really built, let the United States cry. If we use the 6G communication network in the future, they still use 4G, 5G, haha, then they are behind us. There was so much hype before, a bunch of garbage, don't dare to talk now. On Weibo, the big V who Kyozi who questioned the Red Letter before was also smashed by the netizens. Hey, I still have a red letter to lose money to foreign countries. It is you who lose face. Are you accepting foreigners' money? Garbage. Still analyze. Do you understand? Is it better than being beaten? I suggest that Red Letter pull this guy black. Don't sell his mobile phone. Don't let him use the net. Let him go to the United States. Hu Kyozi quickly deleted the previous Weibo and issued the latest apology statement, indicating that he was misled, supported the red letter, and supported the plan of the network. However, he was already a clown and was still being shackled. For him, it's just a matter of being embarrassed. For those companies in the communications industry, it's a major event like an earthquake. As soon as the news came out, major companies were convening an emergency meeting to discuss the impact that this matter might have on them and the measures they would take. Subscribe, monthly ticket. End of this chapter.